Welcome to Highways News. My name is Suresh Kochatan. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted a range of industries from music to manufacturing and has kind of decimated the revenues of many an industry. We are here today to discover how it has impacted and what the industries are doing and the management professionals are doing to kind of counter this entire pandemic. We have with us Mr. Nagesh Vishwanathan, the President of Hyderabad Management Association, to speak to us on these very issues. Welcome to the show, Mr. Nagesh. So the main question that I need to ask you is, are we going back to the past? Remember the good old days when we used to maintain a lot of cleanliness, especially in our villages when we grew up with our grandparents and all that. We used to have a habit of washing our feet before entering the house and all that. Are we coming back to those good old days again now?
Yes, those good old days are coming back with new technology. The technology in the sense houses are very neat and clean, and then when we come home, especially we give a lot of respect to the elders. Those days are coming back again. When we are coming home after an outside visit, we are washing our legs, hands, and at the same time our face also. This gives a fresh look to our body, and then we generate more energy to give out something.
Now, you were the president for 2019-20 of the HMA, and naturally under you there are so many organizations that are represented by their chairman, their managing director, their CEOs and other functionaries. Just to ask you in bit, ever since the COVID pandemic struck, it impacted the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana sectors from somewhere around the March 2nd week. Even though the first case came to Kerala way back in January 30th. Now, what kind of moves has HMA done to ensure that how do you keep your members motivated? Tell them about best practices that have been practiced in different countries. How are you managing to bring all this together?
We have continued our lecture programs. We are continuing our student development programs. We are continuing our faculty development programs. None of our programs have been affected. Although there had been a little gap in the beginning, we picked up and then we are conducting all the programs. None of them have been delayed. Even this year, because of this COVID pandemic, we have changed our system from a normal election wherein balloting is done personally to e-balloting. We are also looking at e-AGM also, wherein our members can participate sitting at their own home and they need not come to the program and then get nearer to each other, wherein it is not possible. The government has also put physical distancing is not possible, and government has also given lot of restrictions and we cannot conduct the AGM. So we are moving forward only, but absolutely no change, and we are not coming back saying that because of the pandemic we are not doing anything.
So Nagesh, you also run your own company, Sankalp Corporation.
Yes.
Now, when you look at your business as such, now how do you think it will get impacted in the short term, that is the next 3 months, and the 6 months and beyond it? Because the industry, when I've been speaking to I must have spoken to more than 100 people now, all of them say that in the short term there might be a bit of blip in the next 3 months, but once the major industries pick up, the downstream industries also will start, especially the MSME sector will start picking up. What is your take on that?
My take is a lot of people who are migrants, they have left. But those who have stayed back, they are doing much efficiently. In lesser time, more work they are giving. So the progress will definitely be there, and we need not worry that the industry is going back. The talent collected by the migrants, they are going to their villages, they'll definitely implement some of their talent, doing some new thing, utilizing their ideologies, and then the progress of the country will be there.
Now, we talk about unemployment problem across India, especially even in Telangana. But what I've been told by many of the industrialists is that why do we have migrants in the first place here? Why do we have the guest workers, as we call them now, not migrants? Why do we have the guest workers coming from other states into Andhra and Telangana? My question is, our local boys, especially the ones who passed out from ITA and all that, shouldn't they be trained? Shouldn't they be working in the forefront instead of looking for more comfortable jobs, they should be working in the industry, especially the manufacturing sector.
When a person stays at his own house or at his own place of birth or anything like that, there the parental love, affection, it all keeps them very, very smiling always. But when the same person goes out of their house, out of their state, out of their country, he is ever challenged to produce something extra than what he had been doing at home. So that challenge makes him feel that he has to give a result. With that view, he takes up the job more seriously and works more, and he gives more to the country.
No, we have the Central Institute of Tool Design in Balnagar, we have the ITIs there, we have the other institutes in Hyderabad. There are plenty of them to train these young men and women. But one thing I have observed often is that, the industry by itself, and this is there even in the IT sector. For example, the IT sector always says that the students who pass out from engineering colleges are no good because they don't have industry skills. Is the industry, as HMA, as a body, would you look at a factor where you will bring training, you will give training to set up a school for these young men and women so that you can train them in the skills which the industry needs them, so that the industry can directly absorb them?
Yes, a lot of our industry members, they keep in touch with Hyderabad Management Association, and Hyderabad Management Association in turn gives them the opportunity to get them few people from colleges or even institutes also. And the members in our organization are members from the institutions as well as the colleges. So they take care, and each one is coordinated together, and the flow is always there.
But do you think HMA should actually set up a formal body, take up a small institute like an ITI, absorb them, put in modern machinery there, teaching the skill? Because the equipment that you see in some of the ITIs are something like almost 2 decades behind what the industry is doing right now. So do you think there should be a formal sector where you can train these young men and women so that they can readily find employment after they finish the course?
After they finish the course, generally these people find it difficult to work in the industry, because as you said that the equipment at the ITI is very old. So these people are being trained again in the industry for a few months. After that only they will be able to work properly. So this type of training is definitely done by each and every industry, and therefore they are able to come up.
Now, one thing I have learned from the conversation that I have with different industrialists and management gurus also is that after COVID, it will be a different world altogether. We will not go back to the good old world. We will not crowd 70 people into an APRSRTC bus. We will not go to a pub where there is a huge crowd. We will not go to theatres which is packed to capacity. A lot of things are going to change. What, according to you, are the changes that, as a management association president and also as an industrial yourself, what are you seeing? What will be the changes that will surely happen, and we will not go back to the old days before March first week? There's a different world that's going to be going forward.
The coming year is going to be definitely a new normal. In this new normal, everybody will put in their intelligence to use. As I was telling to you, many people, the thought process itself will be changed. The thought process will be for good health, good management, good sleep, good food. Everything will be for good. Like in these pandemic days wherein we had been staying at home, we never ate outside food. It was not available, so we never ate. So with that, people have increased their health-wise thoughts, and therefore everybody is more fit and more thoughtful, more thinking has come up, and therefore they are producing better results. The average person who had been doing say 10 items, now they are doing 15 or 20 items. Work from home is also a blessing in disguise. So from home they are able to do more work. Many companies have also changed from the work from place to work from home. With that, they are able to get better results. Even the banking sector has improved to a very great extent. A lot of people in our members also, they have started training themselves. Instead of wasting time thinking that this is we are wasting the time because of the curfew and the lockdown, now everybody thinks that the same time should be utilized for improving the skills, memory, as well as the energy put in the right direction to get more results.
Now, I'll take one specific thing for me. What you mentioned just now is work from home. Now, we are seeing even the biggest companies like Facebook and Google, who have their offices based out of Hyderabad, have advised their employees, and many IT companies have done that going forward. And for example, TCS has officially issued a statement saying by 2025, 75% of their employees will work from home.
Yes.
Obviously, this is change in culture, there's a change in mindset. People need not travel 3 hours to work, that's 1.5 hours to go, 1.5 hours to come back. People won't have to sit in cabs, packed to 10 people in a cab, like a winger or something, and be taken to a call center. That all will naturally stop now. But at the same time, that will also impact a number of industries. For example, commercial buildings. We may see a reduction in number of commercial buildings because these people have understood that we don't need to have huge premises, we don't need to pay rent, we don't need electricity to be wasted, we don't need air conditioning, we don't need maintenance staff or all these things. But at the same time, there has to be a balance, because this will actually bring in a new set of things, that people will start upgrading the home, for example. This is what real estate experts have told me, that we'll upgrade our home.
More chairs are
required. For example, if you need to really, today people are struggling to find a proper chair to sit and talk, or even a proper work from home material in terms of internet speeds and everything. So do you think, as a president of HMA, would you listen, are you hearing the same thing from your members?
Yes, our members say that, but then somehow many of them, they feel that there are opportunities in this situation. So there will be a lot of changes. Changes could be, each place may be utilized for some other thing. More people will be utilizing their house. So house electricity bill will increase, AC bill will be increased, and everybody individually will need their Wi-Fi system. So each one has an office. Instead of a big office wherein 100 people will be working, now you will be having 100 different places where everything will be improved.
Now, when you network among your members, and I want to conclude with this question, when you network with your members, and now that you say you're having e-elections, you're having e-lectures, again, HMA traditionally meets in a place of its own. It has its meeting, it calls a guest lecturer. Do you think those things also will change going forward?
Going forward, maybe instead of say 5 lectures, 1 lecture may be a physical lecture and 4 will be
an offline one.
Offline by electronic way. So this is how I feel, and then nothing is going to stop. Parties will definitely come back after some time. Today we have from 7 p.m. The curfew, so that's why no parties are being held. But after some time, as the situation eases and the business also eases, everybody will come back to some situation wherein everybody will be definitely enjoying.
Now let me close by asking this very philosophical question. A lot of people say this particular pandemic, the COVID-19, is actually a blessing in disguise, because it has made us discover a lot of things among ourselves, in terms of family, in terms of relationships, in terms of skills. A lot of people have picked up cooking, for example, as a main hobby in this. Some people are saying, why do I need to work in an IT industry? I will start a takeaway restaurant after this, because my skills are pretty good. So do you see that, one way it has made us discover a lot of things which we took for granted? For example, we always thought that we could go to crowded places. We Indians like it. We go to an IPL game, we eat pani puri from the roadside. These are things which we took for granted. And suddenly we are told, no, you have to maintain cleanliness, you have to maintain, distancing. These are alien concepts to us. It is very common in Europe, for example, where they maintain a social distance. You don't go to your neighbor's house just like that. You call them up and then go over. But in India, it's not like that. You go and walk across, knock the door and enter. So do you think, in a philosophical way, that this pandemic, even though it has resulted in a large number of infections, deaths and other thing, at the same time, it has actually brought in something that was taken for granted before?
Yes, people are thinking in that way, I do agree. But my basic thought, right from my childhood, I always feel, as a microbiologist and a chemist, I feel that one should always have resistance. Eating pani puri in a place where definitely some contamination is there, We Indians will not feel anything, and we don't get any disease after eating that.
Or immunity
Whereas
levels
if
are
I
pretty.
get a guest from America,
He will not.
be able to take even one pani puri. So we have the resistance, we have the immunity, we should utilize that immunity, but at the same time take care of ourselves, see that we don't get fever or any other disease which is going to make us sleep, stay home, doing nothing. So
No,
we should do something always and be active. That is how it is.
That's wonderful. You did mention that you are a microbiologist. So, in a bigger way, this pandemic, and we were listening to Dr. Reddy's laboratories results yesterday. They had the best financial performance ever in a quarter that went by. So, my question is this presenting an opportunity for Indian MSMEs? And among your HMA members, there must be many people from the drug industry. I was speaking to Mr. Uday Bhaskar, the head of Pharmexil here, and he was mentioning that, look, Indian pharma industry, by way of hydroxychloroquine or the other drugs that we are developing or developed, and we are now importing in a big way, and we are exporting in a big way. And the import is mainly from the intermediaries APIs we are importing, and of course we are exporting the finished drugs. But do you think there's a big opportunity, because 90% of our APIs, the active pharmaceutical ingredient that go into making a drug, are now coming from abroad, and 65% is coming from China. Now when you're talking of stopping the Chinese imports, and at one time Hyderabad used to be the center for APIs. We had all the big pharma companies making APIs, and suddenly we decided it's not worth it. We will make the final product instead. So do you see an opportunity for especially that you are a microbiologist, do you see an opportunity for Indian pharma companies to go back to the API days? At least not the pharma companies, maybe the MSMEs will get into it.
APIs will definitely have a better place. MSMEs will also have an improved situation. The government of India is supporting us, and then the main thing which I like is Make in India. We had been importing many things, even a simple mask we had been importing. That mask nowadays everybody, because necessity is the mother of invention, everybody has started even making masks. Masks are now available in plenty. In the initial days of COVID lockdown, even I found it very difficult to get a proper mask, but then now it is available and we are getting everything in plenty. Even a simple sanitizer was a big shortage, but now we don't have, because everybody started learning how to make, what is the ingredient that everybody has come to know, and they are making.
Yeah, in fact, I've been to a few companies in Hyderabad which make them. Yeah. And I'm surprised that they were able to ramp up very quickly.
Yes.
Now, one last question that brings me to
and the technology is available with us.
Yeah,
so the technology can be used. I am a supplier to all the pharma industries. The pharma industries have coped up in very fast and quick.
And I think even the PPEs, we were not making a single PPE a couple of months ago. Now we are the largest producer of PPE in the world, I think making 2 lakhs per day or something like that. Now the question which obviously at the top of everybody's mind is the package announced by Nirmala Sitharaman ji following the Prime Minister's announcement of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, typically a Make in India's version 2.0. Now, is the industry happy? Because you must be listening to all your members, being the president of HMA. What is their opinion about this package?
Most of the people, they feel that हमको क्या मिलेगा last में, ultimately we are not going to get anything. At the most we may get some loans only, but not any relief in terms of say this package giving us some money to get relief from the GST or any other tax or any other facilities, because even in the bad days where there is no work which has taken place in many industries, I am not talking about the essential commodities, even the non-essential commodities, there the people who have not worked were paid their salaries, their PPF, their ESI, every amount has been paid by the owners. So the burden on the owners has increased. This may not be covered by the government's policy. So if the government thinks in those terms and takes care of different sectors, it would have been really great. MSMEs, of course, they had been given, but then how fast, how long will it take? Now if I go to any bank and ask them what about the MSME loan are you going to, they simply say that I have not received any instructions, so I am not going to give.
That's a problem in India. We still have the British bureaucracy left over with us. that's something we need to carry on. But I'm sure
in this case, I would feel that the government of India should give instructions overnight by way of electronic method, by way of
I think there's a lot desired in that front,
so
actually.
If that comes, then it will be very easy.
That's true.
If the lockdown was to be implemented, the police said that lockdown is being implemented overnight. Next day morning, lockdown was implemented. But when it is to be removed, they say that we have not instructions. So it is not the police to be blamed, because they have worked really extremely well. I have seen in these last 2.5 months, many people have told me, the newspaper tells, our WhatsApp University is very active, so they also say, everybody. So with all this, I feel that the police people have done a fantastic, wonderful job, and in this my last 60 years, I have seen for the first time police people being appreciated to a very great extent.
Mr. Nagesh, thank you very much for speaking to us at HighBiz News. I'm sure that once the pandemic is over, we can possibly sit in the HMA office and talk to you and your other office colleagues and discover a lot more things as we move along to the next 2 months or next 3 months post-lockdown. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Suresh.
That was Mr. Nagesh Vishwanathan, President, Hyderabad Management Association, a body that represents hundreds of organizations from across the twin cities of Hyderabad and Secunderabad. And he spoke in detail about what the industry is going through in a post-COVID scenario. Thank you for watching.